Hey everybody, this is Matt from Lasso Procurement. In our last video, we went through how a supplier can accept a contract and then update the work order. And in this video, we're going to go through how a supplier can initiate a contract change order and what that looks like from both the buyer's end and the supplier's end. And so right now, I'm in the buyer's account and I can see the purchase order and I have the option to do a direct edit of the purchase order. So this might be something that you would do. If you have a phone call with the supplier, you agree to a change in the contract, you just hit edit. This will go back to the edit. All these fields will be editable. It'll show us a draft. Click send. It'll send it back to the supplier. Um, Alternatively, the supplier can submit a request for a contract change order. So I'm going to go through that process again. And so to do that, I'm going to go back to the supplier's account and log back in. Okay. And I'll go to, oh, whoops. And so I'll go to the sales tab under my work orders and I'll go to my work order details. And you'll see, so in the last video, we showed the work order status update. And below that, we're going to have an initiate contract change order. And so here, if I want to change anything about the contract and as the supplier, I want to submit that request for the change order to the buyer, I can go ahead and initiate that here. So I'll select the line items that I want to change and under this work order, and I can click start change order. And for instance, if there's a need to for example, I need to push out the delivery date. So from initially it's November 12th, I need to push that out 2 weeks. I can go through and go ahead and do that. And so request comments, push date out 2 weeks. All right, and I'll go ahead and submit that. And this will be submitted. And I'm going to do the same with this other line item. And I'm going to add the same notes. And these will be submitted. Okay, and so these items will both be submitted, now be available for the buyer to review. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is log out of the supplier's account, log back into the buyer account, and go through what that looks like. All right. And so we'll go to the contracts and under this contract. And so you'll see I've got my purchase order and then under PO history, I've got highlighted change order request awaiting disposition. And I can just click on this link and it'll directly take me to where I can disposition these change orders. And so as the buyer, if I review this line item and determine that this updated contract date that has been requested by the supplier is acceptable, I can do, or actually I have a few options. So I can approve it, reject it, or modify it. So modifying it, if I want to say, so it was originally November 12th and they're requesting November 26th, and I want to say, I'm okay with November 19th. I can submit it to November 19th and submit it as modified, and then it'll subsequently go back to the supplier for them to review and approve. And if they approve it, then the process will come back for me to update the contract. But for now, I'll just have this as what it was initially submitted as, and I'll go ahead and approve this one. And so this one, that first line item is approved. And on the second one, I'll go ahead and approve that one as well. And so both of these are submitted and these are approved. And I'll notice that this purchase order has automatically been revved. So this is on revision 1 and it's in draft status. And you can see that the initial PO revision, Rev 0, and Rev 1, I've got my full PO history here, and all of the updates have been made. And you can see that this old line item is set to be deleted, and I'm just going to go ahead and click save there. And so I've got my 2 active line items now with the completion date as November 26th. That I updated first based on that change order request. I can add any additional notes that I want to here. Moved date out 2 weeks. Okay, and I'll submit if I want to have the discount terms, I can add those as well. And yep, so I've now have my fully, updated purchase order. Go ahead and send that. And this is then going to be transmitted to the supplier for them to review. And I can see that the PO status has now changed. PO sent to supplier. And similarly to what we saw earlier, this will go into the supplier's queue. They will accept the contract, and that will be that'll be how we do contract change orders. And so just cover contract change orders. In the next video, we're going to wrap up our procurement process by showing how we go through submitting receipts as the buying organization and invoices as the supplier organization, and making sure that we have a three-way match between the purchase order, the receipt, and the invoice.